I still to this day, every time I post a video, I look at it and I'm like, do I look good? Do I want to post this? Like, is this okay what I said? Like, I'm scared of being judged. I feel like also sometimes the comments on TikToks can be so mean. I get told to jump off a cliff every single day.
Welcome back to another episode of the Millennial Girls Podcast. I'm Racquel
and I'm Natasha.
And the Millennial Girls Podcast is sponsored by Dezo. Wow, that was so like commercially. I hope you all enjoyed that. Oh, she has the box. Let's go, Natasha. Okay. I'm super excited about the guest that we are going to have on today. If you have a TikTok, you've definitely seen him. And if you follow us on Millennial Girls Instagram, which you should do that, you've seen him because we've posted his TikToks before. And it's Josh Zilberberg. So he is the one who posts all about like the dating like stuff, and he ends it with like "thank you," and it's literally just
but
so.
It's not thank you. It's thank you. YEW.
Like super. Yes, like so sassy and like it's what we're all about. Okay, and I'm actually really interested to see his journey and talk about his journey into TikTok and like becoming a quote unquote influencer because TikTok is like new.
Yeah.
So I think we should just
honestly, I love having the TikTokers on because again, they're just like everyday normal people that just all of a sudden they just blew up. So it's fun to have them on. We had Roderick on, we had Carly on, we have had several TikTokers on, and maybe we'll be known as a TikTok podcast down the line. But anyways,
who knows?
Make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there. And of course, give us that 5-star
review. 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps somehow. Do it.
Why are you yelling?
I'm just excited to talk to Josh. Let's just bring him in right now.
All right, Josh, we are so happy you are here with us today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're so good. I mean, we are so excited to have you on today because we totally like obviously saw you on TikTok and because you're viral, but we literally did a deep dive and just like stalked all of them. And not only are they so relatable, but like you're so honest and so unapologetically you. Has it always been that way for you? Because we're going to talk about it later, but I know sometimes when I post stuff, I like am crazy when I like watch the views go up and everything. But like, how did you get to the point where you're like, I'm just going to do this and this is how it's going to be?
So I think that social media is kind of crazy in that like, I really appreciate that you think that I'm so confident, but I think that we all struggle with like wanting the views and sort of like wanting to maintain sort of like relevancy. However, I will say that the videos that have authentically done best are videos that I really didn't think were going to do well. And also videos that were like not carefully planned and videos that I just sort of like thought of in 2 seconds and smacked my phone down on a table and just started recording. So I feel like I'm so lucky in that my content is just relatable stuff that like I feel like so many people in our age bracket go through. And so it's really nice to see that I'm not alone in feeling a lot of ways about life and about dating and about relationships. And I think that that does give me the confidence to keep going. I've definitely not always been so confident. It's definitely been a journey, but I do think that every single day I grow and I just try to be more and more myself. And the more that I thought that I would be rejected, the more I've just sort of been accepted by the general public. So it's really relieving to see that we're not all perfect and we're not all what we portray on social media and we're actually all human.
Yeah, that's what I love about your content too, because yeah, like she said earlier, it's like, it's so honest, like going through, I mean, of course it's hilarious as well, right? Because it's, you know, you have a little bit of that like cynical side. You're not like, oh, you know, everything's flowers and roses and everything is better, you know, tomorrow and the next day. And on the other side, it's like, no, you're literally being as honest and as raw as possible. And you're just like, okay, if you accept it like this, it is what it is, you know? So I really appreciate that you're putting out that kind of content too, because I feel like we're always like, kind of like overly positive sometimes on social where it's just like, okay, we definitely need to take that in, but then we also need to be like a little bit realistic too. Like it's not always that way, right?
Yeah. Natasha's really good with being her full self on social media. Like she will put herself up there crying, and like this podcast has definitely helped me open up because I've just always been like, okay, no, I'm going to be positive and help. And like, that's all I'm going to show. But obviously, like, I've opened up about my anxiety and stuff like that and panic attacks, mental, health stuff on this podcast, which has been great. But I still catch myself where I'm like, okay, I need to be like, I'm positive, but I'm not doing well. But like, where is that in between? So how you kind of get yourself in the right mindset to be like, okay, I am a little, like Natasha said, not everything of your content is like, dating is great, everything's amazing, life is grand, because it's not. We've been in a global pandemic for the past year. Like, hello. So how do you kind of navigate yourself if you are having that day where you're like, no, this is not it, but I do need to post? Is this going to be okay?
Yeah. So I think that basically, like, with the pandemic happening and with sort of like everyone being stuck at home, we're all like really into social media because we have nothing else to do. Like, half of last year, we literally sat not knowing that this 2-week quarantine is going to turn into this pandemic that like is still happening. So I feel like with the rise of like people being more on social media, people are really like hesitant to be like real on social media. You could see people that are struggling, but like they're posting like cute pics by a lake, like in like the cutest outfit or whatever it is. And so I feel like you're sort of having this double-edged sword because like we're all suffering, like we're all stuck at home, we're all lonely, we're all sad, but all you see when you scroll your feed is either people complaining about COVID or, which like is relatable, but also it's like not the only thing people struggle with. And then like flowers and roses and people doing whatever. And I kind of feel like that middle ground of like, we're all still just kind of like existing. I feel like that was like a huge like hole in the like content that I was seeing on social media. So I kind of just felt like, what about people who like, of course, are upset about COVID, and COVID's a huge deal, and like we shouldn't like belittle that, but also like are just like struggling with the day-to-day life. And I feel like it's like you're either like really angry on the internet or like really happy, and there's no in between. I'm not saying life is terrible. I'm not saying that like we're all like the worst and like negative and pessimistic. I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is the shit we all deal with, and like we have to like be able to like acknowledge that and talk about it. And I think that being able to do it in a way that like we talk about it and it's funny is like a way that like we can really sort of like make it relatable for people in a way that people can sort of like take what they like are experiencing and make it not so serious and like laugh about it. Because I think it's important to be able to laugh at yourself too.
I was going to ask the first one.
When you first went into like open TikTok, did you have any idea you were going to end up where you are now? Like, what was the mindset? You were just like, well, see what happens. Like, and then you go viral like, over and over again.
Was the product of boredom. Like I get this question all the time, like friends, family, people on podcasts, whatever. Like I don't have an answer because I don't know like what happened. It was an accident. Like I just like
I don't know.
It was an accident. Like I was just really like hanging out, like talking with my friends and like just posting stuff like to be funny, like thinking that like my close friends who followed me would see it. It started resonating and I just kind of kept going with it. And here we are like some months later, and like the engagement is consistently so high on every video that like clearly it's touching people in a way that I never expected. I'm glad it did, but like there was no intention of this happening. It's on as new to me as it is to everyone else. Like I don't know anything about anything, and I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, we're
like I just post.
Yeah, I just like post. I'm not giving any TikTok tips. Like that's not me. I mean, I'm sure you will down the line, right?
No, I mean, I definitely have like my sort of like insights as to like what works and sort of what I think like will like land with people just based on experience, but it's not something that I had any sort of knowledge of before doing what I had to do. You just
did it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
what was the content that you were putting out before, and then what was the first piece that like you started realizing like, oh, okay, this is getting some traction, let me make more of those?
Like I really didn't see it in that way. Like when I was posting, like I wasn't doing it to become bigger. Like I was literally just posting, and I saw that it sort of like kept growing, and so obviously I stuck with that. But like I was never like, you know what I think is going to get views, this, and so therefore like it was so not as calculated as like it could seem like it was. Like it was just like me just being me, really.
Well, and that's the beauty of TikTok too, because that's really, I feel like what happened for everybody that went viral, right? It was like, it was not calculated. It was just like playing around, and then all of a sudden something moves and you're like, whoa, like you go to sleep, you wake up and you've got like thousands and thousands of views, and you're just like, okay, like you know, you get that adrenaline, you get that excitement to, I guess, like want to create more of that. Cause I don't know, we get like that instant gratification of like, oh, wow, this is moving. Maybe I could do more of this. Like, what is that going to do for me? But no, I was just wondering if like before you were just posting like pictures with friends or whatever. And then like one day you decided to like put a joke out there.
Honestly, no, like I never used it as like a social media in a way that like, but I think that that's also the beauty of TikTok is that like Instagram chances are following the people on your feed. So you're sort of like posting in the way that we used to use Facebook when Facebook was more popular, like what you're up to, what you're doing, like your story, this and that. TikTok, I feel like you're not doing it to engage with like your circle. You're just sort of going entertained, right? And so I feel like that's the beauty of TikTok is that TikTok is giving you for free what people will pay thousands of dollars for, like a sponsored post on Instagram or Google Ads or whatever it is. Like it's literally like, if this resonates, like millions or thousands of people will see it. And so it's just like this ticket that like everyday average, like I work at a furniture store, before this, I'm no one, you know what I mean? Like whatever, but like people who are just living life. And if something resonates, like if you have that quality that people will want to watch, you don't need to know people. You don't need an agent. You don't need, like, it's really taking mass media and like bringing it to your phone and then giving accessibility to any person who wants to try. And I feel like that's really exciting, but it's also really scary because I feel like do you know what I mean? Like
it's terrifying. It's freaking terrifying. And I think too, the beauty with TikTok. So I was so against TikTok. I have my agent was literally like, Racquel, you need to get on TikTok. This was a year and a half ago. I was so against it. I was like, I'm on air at a radio station. I'm doing all this freelance stuff. I don't have time to make TikToks. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. And then we got let go from our jobs and I was like, well, I guess we can get on TikTok now. Yeah. And then, you know, was doing all the like dancey stuff and all that stuff. And then I like took a break from it. But I feel like the beauty with TikTok now is it's developed so much that there's so many different sides of TikTok. Like you were saying before, it's like there's the funny TikTok, there's like millennial TikTok, there's music TikTok, fashion TikTok, and there's so many different. It's kind of like YouTube. It's like a mini YouTube. And it's so interesting to see, like, I know my audience on TikTok is completely different than my audience on Instagram, different than Twitter, different than YouTube, different than millennial girls. Same thing with Natasha. It's like different on all different platforms, but yet it all still kind of connects. So it shows how you wear all these different hats, which is really cool.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to talk about our amazing drink sponsor, Dezo. And I feel like we always are like, guys, it's so good for your tummy. You don't get hungover. But like the ingredients are why it's so good for you also, because not only is it a spiked superfruit water, so like obviously has the actual natural ingredients in it. I have the watermelon one in front of me, which is my favorite one of all time because like watermelon, you know. It has gluten-free vodka, watermelon water, cucumber, and lemon, Himalayan sea salt, and then some carbonation. So there's no weird mystery thing that you're like, is this going to make me feel like death the next day? Let's like not.
Blue A7212 or something. You're like, no, this is
red dye number.
Yeah, dye.
Number 4 or whatever.
If it has the blue dye in it, Racquel's going to have an allergic reaction. So, and we know.
I can't do it, y'all. I can't.
And we know that every single time that we drink Dezo, we always feel good. Like it tastes really good and it's like really natural. Like it's not like any spiked seltzer out there. Like this is not considered a spiked seltzer. It's considered a spiked superfruit water. So it's like a really flavor enhanced water with carbonation. And the one that I have in front of me is the coconut flavor and it has gluten-free vodka as well. Coconut water, acai berry, Himalayan sea salt, and carbonation. So if you want to find out more about Dezo and if you want to get yours today, which you should, because it is time to go pool party. Well, no, maybe not for everybody, but like summer's coming, okay? Make sure to visit drinkdezo.com and you can get yours there today.
I want to ask you, because I am now going through this, starting my YouTube channel and doing music stuff. Like, I get addicted to, not addicted, I mean, kind of addicted, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe the wrong word.
No, that's the right word.
Addicted? I don't know. Till when I post a video, I get terrified on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, like I got 40 views in a half hour, which is going to average to this. If this keeps going up by 12 hours, first of all, I don't even do math. So the fact that I'm trying to figure this out is honestly amazing. Like, go me. But does this happen to you on TikTok? Because
all the time. So I have to.
It's not healthy.
Not healthy. And it's something that I really struggle with is like, when you're about to post a TikTok, keep in mind it's only like 15 seconds to like a minute long. At the most, it's a minute long. So you probably watch it even just sitting in your hand, watched it loop like 600 times before you even posted it. And when you stare at anything too long, you start to hate it, right? So it could be the best, most hilarious video, but like you're like, I look stupid, or like my hair's being weird, or like whatever it is. And then you post it, and like maybe the first 100 people that see it or whatever it is, especially when you're smaller and you don't have as many followers, might not be the people that are the intended audience of the video. And so you like freak out, and then it's an algorithm. It's not a person that's determining. So the algorithm takes time to really like learn and distribute your content to sort of the right subset of people. And so I feel like you can get really hard on yourself if a video doesn't land. Also, sometimes things are just funny in your head and like people just don't find it that funny, and that's okay too. But like, I promise you that like, no one is even going to remember if you post and you delete something, or if you just had a video that didn't do as well as you wanted it to. Like, the only person that's going to actually care about it is yourself. So if you just sort of learn to like distance yourself and just take that time and energy instead of being hard on yourself, and just focus it in on like making new content that's the newest and best content that you want to put out, something will land. And like, you just have to persevere. Like, I promise you, the first a lot of videos that I posted were not viral. Sometimes videos like later went viral, and then people went back and watched my old ones, which then those ones go viral. But people also need to like grow into like I'm an acquired taste. I'm like wine. Like, I'm not for everyone right off the bat. You know what I mean? So like, you really like, don't need to be so hard on yourself. And that would be my advice to anyone who's like just starting TikTok. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep posting, and you'll find what works for you. You'll find what doesn't, and you'll slowly start to grow a community of people that will appreciate you. So no matter how big or small that is, it's valid. And like, people, it's supposed to be fun. Like, when did it stop being fun? We need to like let it be fun again.
That's a good point. Yeah. I feel like that's it too. Like, when you're a content creator, you get wrapped up in it and you're like, oh wait, I should have fun again. Like, this is how it needs to be. And I think that's honestly the biggest takeaway from anyone listening. If you want to be a content creator, or if you want to be whatever, an influencer, anything like that, even like a radio host, anything at all, like, you have to work your way up, and like put in the hard work, but also like take a deep breath and have fun with it. And I always have to remind myself that. And Natasha's always like, Racquel, it's gonna be fine. Like, take a deep breath. It's okay. And I'm like,
no, I mean,
you sure?
you remind me too. I mean, even when it's content that we're putting on Instagram, it's just like, you become so strategic about things that you completely lose the fun in it at all. I mean, and then especially with consistency, it's like not just based on your mood anymore. It's like, oh, I need to put content out every single day. And so that's the part where you kind of get stuck too, because I don't know, at least for me, it's a mood thing. Like, if I feel like I'm in the mood to cook, I'm going to cook today. If I don't feel like I'm in the mood to cook, I don't want to cook. But it's like, wait, you have an audience that's like waiting for your content, you know? So, and of course, not even just that, but you know, for ourselves to keep growing, we need to be consistent, right? So, but your content is so much fun. I have a pleasure going through like, I literally, it's what's the word? Like, you get stuck scrolling like on your page. Like, it's just like da 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 da. And then like, I can, same as you, I can watch it loop like 6 times. Yeah. And it's just like, it doesn't get old. Like, it's funny, but it's like, I don't know, like, you just, you know what it is? The content that you're putting out, not only is it relatable, but it's like, I feel like you're my friend already. Like, I feel like you're just like my buddy. You're just like, you know, just giving me the sass, like all the way. And it just, I don't know. It's like a feel good thing, even though I know you're being like sarcastic and stuff, but it's just, it's fun.
But like, I feel like the way I treat my TikTok camera is literally how I would treat my best friends. And so I get so many messages of people being like, I feel like we've been friends for years. And I'm like, that makes me so happy. And girl, like we are friends now. So like,
we're besties. Let's go.
I feel like, when did like, we're in this time and everyone's so serious and everyone is so like constantly on edge and either like offended by things or whatever. And I'm like, it's all important. We do need to talk about it. I don't want to belittle anyone's issues, but we also need to learn to remember to just love each other and laugh a little bit. Like, we're all going through a hard time. Let's just take a breather and just enjoy the internet. Let's just be funny. Let's be silly, but also be real. And I feel like that's like really the message I want to send. And I feel like by doing it in a funny way, it's really like touched a lot of people and it makes me really happy.
No, it has. And I feel The number one thing with Natasha, the number one thing me and Natasha always say is like, we're sending content back and forth, or if something happens, I'm like, everyone just needs to take a deep breath. Like, let us take a deep breath, spray some incense or whatever we need to do, because like, that's all we can do at this point, especially in 2020 going into 2021. Everyone's like, what's your advice? I'm like, take a deep breath. I don't know what else to tell you guys.
What's your advice?
Stage the house after 2020 at the train wreck. I'm like,
I know.
You know?
Oh, I 100% staged myself, like my birthday in February. I literally was like, Natasha was like, how was the rest of your night? I was like, I staged myself, my room, like everything.
Myself.
My electronics, like you've got to stage everything.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Like, energy. I'm like, I'm done. I'm so happy that it's finally like, at least here I'm in Canada, so everything's freezing in the winter. So like, we've been locked up inside. I'm so happy I can like finally go for a walk again. It's like warmer outside. I'm like, we're going in the right direction. So hopefully next year is better than the last two.
Where do you see your brand like going in the future? Because obviously TikTok is still new, so everyone's kind of figuring out what to do with all these viral people who are so great on TikTok. Like, where do you see yourself developing? Because like you said, you worked at a furniture store before.
Excellent question. I have no clue. I didn't even get here on purpose, so I feel like I'm just taking it day by day. I'm so grateful to any of the brands that I've worked with and any of the brands going forward that do want to work with me. Please still work with me. But like, it's just as new to me as it is to all these people. It's not like something I actively pursued. I feel like maybe I would be able to answer that question better if like I wanted to be an actor or in media or an influencer or content creator or whatever you want to call what I'm doing. It's literally like, I'm just even still trying to take it in day by day. So stay tuned. There are definitely stuff coming. However, what it is, I'm not sure.
I know that should be one of your, that should be another video now. So you're just like, when everybody asks me, when I'm interviewed all the time,
right,
asks me, I have no effing clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I did. I don't.
That's so interesting though, because I feel like we grow up, especially millennials, like our whole life, we're like, we want to do this. And I feel the same way. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I wanted to host E-News. E-News isn't on air anymore. So like, I don't know.
Life changed.
Yeah.
Life majorly changed.
It's all kidding and it's good and it's keeping me on the seat of my pants. So I guess we'll just see, right?
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned your confidence has been a journey. And I want to ask you now that you've been putting out so much content and everything's been going viral, you're creating this community that all these people are reaching out to you, you know, saying that they feel like they've known you for a million years. How has that affected your confidence now?
I feel like it's something that I've always struggled with and it's something I'm always going to continue to struggle with. I feel like no person, unless like you're literally like unaffected by everything around you, just doesn't have any insecurities. It's like super relatable, but it's also super common. Like I feel like everyone has insecurities, but also keep in mind that like while I've been going sort of like viral, we've still been in a pandemic where I live, like we're literally just entering a third lockdown. So I'm not like meeting people and experience. It's very like isolated. My phone, my day-to-day is still extremely normal. So I feel like it's nothing to even do with like the people messaging me, and it's so sweet. I'm so appreciative and like I'm so happy and grateful that I have all these people that are super relatable to me, but it doesn't mean that I'm any more confident than I was. And I feel like growing up, especially being like the gay kid in elementary school and like in high school, I was never one that like did sports or like was anything like that. So I never was like the cool kid that like everyone wanted to be friends with. And so it's really nice that everyone's like super like receptive to my content and I love it, but I don't think that not being confident is something that I'll ever struggle with. I still to this day, every time I post a video, I look at it and I'm like, do I look good? Do I want to post this? Like, is this okay what I said? Like scared of being judged. I feel like also sometimes the comments on TikToks can be so mean, not just at mine, like
oh yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, am I going to be the subject of that? Like, is this too much? Like what I'm posting? And you never want to be that person. And I do get my fair share of hate comments and DMs too. I get told to jump off a cliff every single day. It's part of the like nature of putting yourself out there. Like you're going to get people who aren't as receptive to you. So that's okay. But I don't think that, and I like love that people do say that like, you're so confident. How are you so confident? I don't think I am. I think that I just have made the choice to not let it stop me. And I feel like that's all anyone can do. It's like, you're going to be scared. You're going to be insecure. So is everyone. But the only way that fear wins is if you actually let it not post, because the only way you're not going to be successful if this is what you want to do is by not posting. So
yep.
Just keep posting,
Yeah.
just being you. And as long as you're a good person and you're not wishing ill on anyone, as long as you're not a bad person or doing something outwardly wrong, we all make mistakes. We can all grow from the mistakes. Just keep posting. That's all I have to say about that. Like, it never gets easier.
Yeah, I think the difference is it's not always just confidence. It's just being brave. So it's just like, you're just like, screw it, just put it out, you know? So even in that moment, and I've had that moment too, like I don't put out content so much like around, you know, jokes and stuff like that. I mean, I've done a couple like skits that actually went super viral on TikTok too, but it's not something that I've continued to do because it has to be like well thought out, and I don't take the time. But yeah, in those moments, it's like, you know, like Racquel said earlier, if I felt like kind of crying and like showing that side, like I did a little bit and I felt so awkward doing it. Like I literally messaged her after and I was like, I don't know if I should have posted that. Like I feel weird. And she was like, no, it's fine. Like it's relatable, whatever. And I was like, like I was panicking because it was the first time and only time that I've done that. Don't know if I'm going to do it again, but I was just like, yeah, this is just really awkward, you know, but I feel like we've kind of redirected. We've gone in that direction with social media in general. Like everybody asks for like, be authentic, be real, be you, you know? So, I mean, it is kind of a pressure thing too, but I'm putting it only on myself. I mean, we all have the choice to decide what we want to put out there or not. So.
And unless you're extremely famous, most people who are coming across you on their For You page, especially for like newer creators who are just starting, they don't have the preconceived notions about you that you have about yourself. So you're looking at your content through the lens of like, this is what I don't like about myself and this is what I'm insecure about. But someone seeing it for the first time, it's a completely like clean slate, neutral, not positive, not negative. So I feel like their conclusions that they might jump to from what they're watching is going to be different, and you're obviously going to be way harder on yourself. So it's really scary, but like as long as you don't let that fear stop you, you should be golden.
Totally.
That's true. You know what? I didn't even think about that. Like when you're watching someone like you or anyone else who's gone super viral, like you don't know their life story. You know, you're just seeing their funny content and them doing whatever, or, you know, whatever TikToks you're watching or whatever you're into. I think we're just so in this world of like vlogging and everyone knows every waking moment of, or they think they know every waking moment of everyone's life. Like
you're watching 15 seconds that someone is choosing to put out. It's very like so one-dimensional of like a specific trait that they're portraying on TikTok. And I feel like with any other form of like celebrity, if you will use that term, like you're really invested in like their lives as a whole. And maybe there are a certain like amount of TikTokers that like are so famous that they've sort of transitioned into like full-blown celebrities, and therefore like you know more about them. But like if you're scrolling and you see a viral video on your, even if you don't follow the person, like your For You page is like just like coming from here. So like really, if you think about it, like you're watching a video, like you don't have an opinion one way or the other. So like something that someone might be super insecure about, like it might not even occur to you. So you just have to remember that when you're posting that, like people watching your TikToks are not, they don't know anything. They're just watching it for what it is. So just be you.
It's content. And it's crazy because it's like everybody is a character. Like you follow all these different people for all different content. Like I forget the name of this one guy. He always does these really funny, stupid videos with his chihuahua, and he just like shakes his butt like with the song and stuff. And it's just funny and it's so stupid, but it's like, he has like, I don't know what, 1 million something followers now, but it's like, I know him as that guy, you know, like
puppy
it's like,
TikTok.
Yeah. You literally don't know anything else about the person. And like, who knows if they had a bad day or whatever, you know? Right. But, and same, like when we had Roderick on a few weeks ago, and he does all that like millennial content, millennial anxiety and stuff. And it's same thing, kind of like that funny skit stuff. But it's like, once we got to talk to him too, just as you, it's like, we're actually getting to know a little bit more about you guys. Right. And it's like, he was the same thing. He was like, I didn't think this was gonna, it literally just happened. Like I didn't have plans. Like I was like that, you know, that nerdy kid at school, like nobody really talked to me. And then it's like, all of a sudden you've got like this huge fan base, and it's nuts.
And people love him. Like he's one of my friends and I speak to him all the time, and he is hilarious. So like, like I think that what he's doing is so genius, because I feel like he, even more so than what I'm doing, like honestly, I feel like he deserves everything in the world that's coming to him, because he is literally the embodiment of what I think, feel, and experience on a day-to-day basis throughout. And I really like feel like that's such a gift, and I feel like that's the power of TikTok. Like what he does, or like what anyone really does when they go up on TikTok, that's the power of TikTok. Is like you can take something that's like so one part of you and touch so many people organically, and it's never been done before, and it's crazy. And I feel like we're like really entering like a new world of media that's like really uncharted territory, because there's really no filter between the masses and like everyday people. Because even with YouTube, the barrier was that you had to like have the equipment, have the setup, film, you know what I mean? Like there was still, even though anyone could really do YouTube, there's still that barrier. I feel like TikTok, like everyone these days has a cell phone with a camera, and that's literally
all you need.
That's all I need.
That was it. Yeah. So I feel like that's what's so crazy about it.
And no copyright, no none of that stuff. Like
yeah,
at least not yet. Yeah.
Don't say that. Don't jinx it.
Yeah. That's what makes it fun, right? Because you get to use music, you get to use sounds, all this stuff. Like that was the thing that we all wanted with YouTube and with other things. I mean, now you have Instagram Reels, of course, but even before it was like we would get knocked down videos because we were using Justin Bieber's song in a choreography dance or something, you know? So it was like, yeah. So it's definitely, it's cool. It's an amazing opportunity. And what I love about it the most is like that we get to speak to you guys too. Yeah. Because it's like without TikTok, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. It's so true. I think too, it's like we are going into that new uncharted territory, and it's also showing again that we don't have to be perfect. Like we've kind of taken away the perfect like model or like whatever that you want to follow and you want to be like, and then you see Roderick's videos or your videos, you're like, wait, I'm feeling like that. Someone else is feeling like that. That's normal. Weird.
I feel like when Instagram first started, especially with us, like we're not Gen Z, we're not like 15 years old. When Instagram like really started with us, like I remember when I first got Instagram, I was in like my freshman year of college maybe, or like the last year of high school, and like you really were just posting like really overly filtered with like, it was like this like the one like thing of French fries, like it was
I was about to say like some food.
We literally talked about this. Natasha's always like, I posted pictures of my cats, like I don't know.
I go back to those. Do you still have your original, like when you first started your Instagram?
I've taken them all down, they're horrible, but like
same
oh no, I still have mine.
I get it. So like, I feel like we really grew up with Instagram, and Instagram was sort of this new frontier, and then it became super polished. Within a few years, all your feed was seeing like, I feel like I scroll through my homepage now and all I see are like memes, influencers, and like, I don't even know.
That's
like,
it.
Ads.
That's literally it.
I don't even see like what my friends are doing, which is like the whole point of why I even use Instagram. Like the algorithm really is just like memes, influence, and so it's gone from like this super organic like way of people connecting to like another sort of like mass produced, which is fine. I'm all for it. I love Instagram. I use it all the time. But I feel like TikTok is this new way, and it's even more so because of the way that the For You page and the algorithm works. It really is like you're just plopping people in front of a lot of eyes, and it's crazy. Like it's so authentic, and I feel like that's why it's not going away anytime soon. I feel like people are really, especially when we're all so isolated, like really like need to feel connected to people like authentically. Like you can't watch while you're at home suffering because there's a pandemic, someone like on a beach looking fucking amazing, and like you're not doing that, right?
Yeah, right.
So, right.
Yeah, you're like on Instagram and you see a model sitting there and you're like, wait, why don't I have that? Or like a really like a super happy couple like in Cancun or something, and you're like, wait.
No.
You know? Exactly. No, well, that's why you start unfollowing those pages, okay, people?
Yeah.
But, no, what I wanted to ask you, one of the last things is, has your dating life changed at all? I know you're still like lockdown situation, but has your dating life changed at all now that you've put out all that content?
You know what? No, which is hilarious.
No!
I don't know. Like, I was like, maybe someone will like DM me or something. Like, I don't know how to meet people, like dating apps or people DMing, but like the dating apps are like the same. But like, also, I feel like, and if you look at my analytics, like all of my followers are female, which is totally fine. Love my girls. Love. Like,
hey.
No, but like, yeah, like, no, nothing's changed. I'm
just
so
no.
I'm so sad. It's so sad, but you know what? I'm coming to peace with it. I'm coming to terms with it. It is what it is. It will happen when it does.
Yes, it will happen when it's supposed to. And you are just going to be fabulous and amazing on TikTok. And that's how it's going to be.
In the meantime, it makes for great content. So it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly, it does. Josh, thank you so much for talking with us today. We had so much fun. Hopefully, when this is all over, you can come to Miami and we can hang out and do this 100%. Again in person. 100%. Where can everyone follow you and see your TikToks and your Instagram? Just put it everywhere. Plug yourself.
TikTok and my Instagram are the same. It's at Josh.my last name, which is really hard to spell, but it's Zilberberg, Josh.Zilberberg. Follow me if you want to laugh. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was so nice to talk to you guys.
Oh my God, it was so nice to have you. And of course, you guys know what to do. Follow us on social media. Millennial_girls on Instagram. We're on everywhere. Leave that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. My personal is at Racquel Goldy.
And mine is at Natasha Salehi. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell too if you're watching on YouTube.
Yes, and we will see you guys next time. You know what we say here. Peace, love, and unicorns. Bye, guys.
Peace, love, and unicorns. Thank you.
Thank you.